know things seem very bleak to you right now, but I'm sure the board will exonerate you of any wrongdoing, much less criminal negligence.
Well, just tell that to Palmer. He's got most of the board in his pocket. And he hates me almost as much as Virgil's son, Art.
Well, now, look, don't forget, if Trevor finds something, then that...
Trevor left days ago. He thought he could help. He obviously couldn't.
Joe?
Bad news?
I'm sorry, Natalie. I did what I could, but the board voted to suspend you.
Joe.
You can appeal, of course, but unless Art Mason withdraws his charges...
Hey, doll. Hola, Martin. Boy, do I have a load of good news for you.
It's too late, Trevor. It's over. It's finished.
What do you mean it's over?
And the board already voted.
What is she talking about?
Palmer persuaded them to suspend me.
You fired her?
Suspension, pending further investigation.
When?
Just now.
Is the jury still in there?
Yes, the board's on a break right now, but we have one more matter to take up.
Great, you just keep him here. Just put everything on hold, and you just don't give up.
Oh, he thinks he's a one-man cavalry regiment. I'm so sorry. He doesn't understand how powerful Palmer is or how much Palmer hates me.
Congratulations, Palmer.
Thank you.
Your testimony against that gold-digging nurse was quite a service to this hospital.
I've been trying to get rid of her for years. I'm just sorry that such a fine man as your father was her last victim.
Well, so am I. God rest his soul.
I shudder to think the havoc that she'll wreak being director of the Mason Foundation.
Oh, no, don't you worry. My lawyers are working very hard to avoid that pathetic codicil to my father's will. And look at it this way. At least Natalie Hunter will not be around to take advantage of anyone else. Thanks to you.
And you.
Evening, gentlemen. Mr. Mason, could I speak to you in private?
About what?
Would you please excuse us, Mr. Cortlandt?
Be careful. Detective Dillon is her latest conquest.
Oh, yes, I know who he is. And we have nothing to discuss.
Oh, I think we do there, amigo. Why don't you just check out these ticket stubs? Return trip. I just got back.
You went to Texas?
Yes, indeedy. And I had a very interesting trip, including encountering one certain Mrs. Dooley. Should I go on?
I'll talk to him for just a moment.
I told you, Palmer.
It won't take long.
You're wasting your time.
Yeah, we'll see, Papito, we'll see. I figured you'd want to have this conversation in private. Well, I ran into your little amiga, Mrs. Dooley, at cute little pink stucco apartment over by the River Walk there in San Antonio. You familiar with that?
She lives in Dallas.
Yeah, I know she lives in Dallas. With her husband, Big Joe Ed, right? Happens to be a major contributor to your campaign war chest, am I right? How am I doing, huh?
Well, now, if you met Mrs. Dooley in San Antonio, she must have just been there visiting friends.
Well, I didn't exactly meet her. I kind of observed her from afar, you know what I mean? I watched her move into the place. She was working with her interior decorator, moving in all these fancy doodads and furniture, and, oh, but you'll be glad to know, a king-size waterbed, yes, sir.
Just what exactly were you doing in Texas, Detective Dillon? Was this official Pine Valley police business?
Oh, no. I was visiting an old friend of mine over at the Kelly Air Force Base near San Antonio. He knows everything that goes on in San Antonio. That's how he found out about Mrs. Dooley. And the funny part is, she didn't even pay a dime for that apartment. Her name isn't even on the deed. So after I paid my respects to the Alamo, I just trotted on down to the old county courthouse there and checked out the records. Turns out it's owned by a cousin of yours, a black sheep kind of cousin that you've done business with like this before.
What exactly do you want from me?
Well, I just think it would be a shame if Mr. Dooley found out what Mrs. Dooley was doing, that's all. Yeah.
Okay. What's this gonna cost me?
Cost you? I don't expect you to pay for this information. I just found it interesting. I thought you'd find it interesting, too. Especially since your cousin happens to be involved.
Well, what my cousin does with his money's his business, not mine.
Did I happen to mention when they were moving that furniture and I was using a pair of binoculars? Yeah, I happened to catch a Mrs. Dooley with a little leatherette framed photograph. Real sweet little thing. Guess who was in it? You and Mrs. Dooley on horseback at the Lariat Ranch in Tallview, Texas. Yes, sir, Art, you were riding tall in the saddle, boy, tall in the saddle.
You better get to your point before this board meeting reconvenes.
Speaking about this board meeting, I think it would be very neighborly of you not to press charges on Natalie Hunter. And to go along with the wishes of your father in his will. But am I asking too much here? I just don't think the people of Texas are gonna elect a philandering old rascal like you to be dog catcher, do you?
I will drop the charges.
Well, isn't that sweet of you? How about the will?
I won't contest it.
Okay. I think we got ourselves a deal then. Partner. Hey, Dr. Joe! Bring that board back in here. We got business to take care of here. Nice doing business with you, cowboy.
What are they doing in there?
I don't know, but I'm keeping my fingers
But
crossed.
they already voted to suspend me.
But what if Trevor's come up with some new information?
What new
honey?
information could he have? They already were presented with the facts. I just have to face it, that my career as a nurse could be over.
Opal?
Oh, hi, Ruthie. What keeps you here so late?
I'm waiting for Joe to wind up a board meeting.
A board meeting.
Yeah, what's more to the point is what are you doing here so late?
Me? Well, I'm just here visiting a sick friend. Hello, Natalie.
Oh,
What time do you expect this board meeting will break up?
Very soon.
Oh.
Visiting hours were over at 8:30 this evening.
Oh, well, I'm just dropping off a note, a cheerful little good get-well note for a friend. That's all. I gotta run. See you, bye.
What friend? I mean, who on earth is she visiting at this hour?
I have no idea. I'm sorry, Ruth. I wasn't really listening to
Oh,
her.
well, I don't... Oh, Joe.
Good news, Natalie. Right after the break, Mason addressed the board again. He's dropping charges. Yeah,
I still
the
have
board
a
took
job?
the board took another vote. You're no longer suspended.
I have my job.
You
I'm
had
not.
your job. You had your job.
I'm not suspended.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Well, I think you better ask Trevor. Trevor's the one I think you have to thank. Trevor, where did he go? Hi.
Hi. Can I come in?
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So this is where you live.
Well, man's castle is his pig pen.
Why did you leave the hospital before I had a chance to thank you?
Well, I just hate it when beautiful women fall at my feet and get my shoes all soaked with tears of gratitude. Want a beer?
No, thank you. I don't suppose you'd tell me how you did it, right?
Here, why don't you sit down? Yeah.
You really went to bat for me.
Yeah, well, the guy was giving me the bum's rush.
I'm beginning to think I misjudged you.
Well, It's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time.
Well, I'm really very grateful.
Music to my ears, babes. Hey, look. Why don't you sit down? You sure you won't have a beer?
No, I gotta get back to work. But I just wanted to come by and thank you for everything you did for me.
Yeah, well, look, maybe we could go out to dinner sometime. Something like that.
Sure, I'd like that. How about that Mexican food of yours that you like or whatever?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, now we're cooking.
I'm really sorry if I've ever been difficult to get along with.
Boy, I forgive you.
Thanks. And thanks for everything you did.
Thanks. I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Sleep tight.